A boat cannot drive uphill. Yet here one is, climbing a staircase of water, lifted 30 feet without an engine, without a crane, without a single pump. The river ahead sits higher than the river behind. Between them stands a stone box with a heavy gate at each end. In a few quiet minutes, that box will raise the boat to meet the higher water. Let's slice it open and watch exactly how it happens. Rivers and canals are rarely flat. To cross rising ground, a waterway climbs in steps, and at each step, the water on one side sits higher than the water on the other. A boat moving upstream meets a wall, a sudden rise it cannot float over. The canal lock solves this. It is a watertight chamber long enough to hold a boat, with a strong gate sealing each end. Think of it as an elevator made of water. Picture the chamber with no boat inside and its lower gates open. These gates are massive, often timber or steel, and they meet at a shallow angle that points toward the higher water. That angle matters. The higher river pushes the two leaves together, pressing them tighter the harder it shoves. So the gates seal themselves. No latch holds back the water. The weight of the river does the locking, and the deeper the water, the firmer the hold. Our boat approaches from the lower side, where the chamber water now matches the river behind it. It glides through the open lower gates and into the stone box. Lines are looped over bollards to hold it steady against the walls. Then those lower gates swing shut behind it, their angled leaves easing together until they seal. The boat now floats in a closed pool, lower gates shut behind, upper gates still closed ahead. It is ready to climb. High water waits on the upper side, held back by the upper gates. Built into those gates, or into a channel beside them, are small openings called paddles or sluices. A keeper cranks one open. Nothing dramatic happens at first. But now a path exists, a low doorway connecting the high water to the sealed chamber below. Water always seeks its own level, and it has just been handed a quiet way to fall. The higher water does what gravity demands. It pours through the open paddle and down into the chamber, swirling around the hull. No pump pushes it. The simple difference in height drives the whole flow, the weight of the upper river pressing down through those small gaps. The chamber begins to fill. The water climbs the stone walls inch by inch, and the boat, floating on the surface, has no choice but to come along. This is the quiet magic. As the chamber fills, the surface lifts, and the boat rises with it, steady and level. A vessel weighing many tons floats upward on water that simply ran downhill. The crew pays out their lines as the deck climbs toward the higher world above. There is no straining machine, no roar of power. Just water finding its level, and a boat riding the rise like a leaf on a slowly filling glass. The chamber fills until its surface is exactly level with the upper river. Now the pressure on each side of the upper gates is equal, perfectly balanced. With no difference in height, nothing pushes against them, and they swing open easily. A moment ago that water was a wall. Now it is a calm continuation of the same pool. The boat sits high, level with the canal ahead, ready to move on to the higher reach. The boat casts off its lines and motors gently out through the open upper gates. It has climbed the step. The river it now floats on is the higher one it could never reach before. Behind it the chamber waits, full to the brim, ready for the next traveler. The whole lift took only the time it takes to fill a long stone box, and it cost nothing but the patience to let water move. To travel the other way, downhill, the process simply runs in reverse. A boat enters from the high side, the upper gates close behind it, and paddles in the lower gates open. Water drains out of the chamber, falling to the level of the river below. The boat sinks with it, gently, until the lower gates can open onto the lower water. Filling lifts a boat. Draining lowers one. The very same box does both jobs. Here is the heart of it. A canal lock moves boats up and down a hillside using almost no power at all. Every drop of water that lifts a vessel was already sitting higher upstream, waiting to fall. The lock just opens and closes doorways and lets gravity do the labor. Some have worked this way for hundreds of years. The same stone chambers, the same patient trade of height for motion, no engine required. So trace the climb again. A boat meets a step in the water it cannot float over. It enters the chamber through the lower gates, which close and seal behind it. Paddles in the upper gates open, and gravity pours the high water in. The chamber fills, the boat rises, and when the levels match, the upper gates swing wide. The boat floats out onto higher water, fill to climb, drain to descend. A staircase for boats built from nothing but gates, patience, and gravity. Next time you pass a quiet canal, stop and watch the water do the lifting.